today we're going to talk about waste and the cost of waste. It's kind of one of those costs that can slip under the radar. The invoices come in, they get signed off, but actually with a bit of application there are great ways to reduce the cost of your waste. So what sort of shape and form does it come in? Sacks, black sacks, see-through sacks, branded sacks. Wheelie bins, you know, the sort of domestic style 240-litre wheelie bins. Some offices use those. More likely, though, a Euro bin. So if you're not using just sacks, if you're not having curbside collection of sacks, you probably will have Euro bins instead. That's the big 1,100-litre bins. You normally see them around the back of buildings and car parks. If you're maybe using 4 or 5 Euro bins, you might be better off, if your access allows it, to have a mini skip. You know, they're called FELs, front-end loaders, or rear-end loaders, RELs. There's lots of terminology, lots of different kinds, but that's the next stage up if you're using lots of Euro bins. And then you've got this cost of the actual recycling units internally around your office. And that's what I want to talk about now. So landfill tax has gone up a lot since 2006 when it was £21 a tonne. It's now, in 2014, £80 a tonne. So the government's been pushing it up purposefully to incentivise us to recycle more. So any of your waste that goes to landfill that's getting buried in the ground, you're paying extra for that indirectly through your waste management company. So the key thing, and here are my 5 tips, the most important tip in order to reduce your waste cost is to recycle more. Now, most companies are recycling a lot. Most organisations are recycling a lot already, and that's great. It normally produces a good feeling amongst the staff. It's the right thing to do. Recycle your paper separately. Then around in the kitchen, you should have hopefully some mixed waste for plastic for your milk bottle, plastic milk containers, glass, aluminium. That can all go into normally clear sacks so the waste management company can see what it is all together in the one sack and then transferred by your cleaners into the Eurobin or whatever system you have. And that's going to cost a lot less. So a Eurobin with recycling waste in it is going to cost a lot less than a Eurobin which has got landfill waste in it. Even though actually your waste management company probably will be sorting through your landfill waste Eurobin to see what they can pick out. But again, there's a cost incurred in doing that indirectly. So number 1 tip is to recycle as much as you can. Cardboard as well, keep that separate. If you're producing a lot of cardboard, then that sometimes actually can even be purchased from you. That's a good commodity, cardboard. It depends how the market is at any moment in time. The second tip is obviously just to produce less waste. So less paper in the office, whatever you're purchasing, whatever supplies you're being purchased in, the packaging, have reduced packaging because you're paying for that packaging to be sent to waste. And any other ways you can think of actually producing less waste in your office. Waste is expensive. Number 3, get 3 quotes. So find a company that's maybe local or national, local ones, so you can get some very good local waste management companies who are responsive, who are reliable, who actually will also report for you. A good waste management company, depending on your level of waste, of course, will actually produce a report for you to say how much you've recycled, how much it's increased over a year, etc. And that's always quite handy. Also, the council, quite handy to get a quote from the council. In my experience, some councils seem to be subsidised and are very cheap. Some councils are really expensive because they don't really want to be doing commercial uplift for waste. But bear that in mind. Check it out. Also, challenge increases. Waste management companies are pretty good at adding an increase, and you can see why with this. But make sure you're not paying more than you need to. You might find an unusual line on your invoice for something like duty of care, £40, and you think, well, I didn't know anything about that. That was never in the contract. So you might want to politely challenge those. Lastly, take a wander. So that sounds a bit funny. It's like taking a wander around your car park to see what waste is actually being collected. But imagine your waste collection is a Tuesday morning, and imagine you or you delegate someone to go and just check the Eurobins or whatever containers you're using before they get collected. And the reason being, if you've got 3 or 4 Euro bins and they're only half full, no one else is going to actually tell you probably that they're half full, unless you've got a very good waste management company. So you could actually be using 2 Euro bins, saving £1,000 a year just by getting rid of those 2 Euro bins that you don't actually need. Also, if you take a wander, you can see if there's any waste that's being put into those Euro bins or containers which don't actually belong to you. So the public may have been throwing things in there, maybe members of staff who haven't been given permission are chucking stuff in because they didn't want to go to the tip at the weekend. That happens. And don't forget, you are legally responsible for what leaves your premises, and you're paying for it. So if you take a wander, you can actually see what's actually being put into the waste and how effective and how efficient your waste system is. And you can actually get a lock for your Euro bins if that's what you're using. You just ask for it. It doesn't cost any extra. Also, as a benchmark, don't pay any more than £10 for a Euro bin. You just don't need to. Just let your waste management company know from the outset £10 is your budget per Euro bin, and you'll probably find they'll respond to that. If you're paying £13, £14, you're frankly almost certainly paying way too much. So those are my tips. I hope that's helpful to you. Thank you.